Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this. Once again, it's little Booga Booga Boogle. She actually just woke up. She had been awake, along with all of my hamsters, all three of them. They had been running around in their cages, and this was about a half hour ago. And I picked her up, and I was playing with her and such. And then, well, now it's 7:25 p.m. on Friday, the 6th of July, and she was asleep. So I made noise, and she came out of her house, and she crawled into my hand. So here's little Booga Boogle, and I'm going to put her back in her cage so she can go back to sleep. Here we go, little one. There you go. Thank you very much. She's a cutie. She hasn't savaged me lately, and that's good. Now my hand here is kind of tore up a little bit still, but that's because it really itched. And so I took my brush, which was my wife's brush, my late wife's brush. So it's like, you know, most brushes have the little dots at the end of the sharp bristles that it doesn't just scratch up your scalp. A lot of the dots have fallen off, so it just ripped my skin up. Thumbs up. One thing I've wanted to show people, and I've showed it before, I just wanted to show this again. If you've ever read comic books and you've read Neil Gaiman's Sandman, whether it's the actual comics or the graphic novels or whatever, this was a statue. Well, in fact, it still is. A little one of these statues. Unfortunately, a little chunk has come off the back of his head through the travels and the years. But I got this back in the mid-90s, and it's only 1066 of 1800. So how many of these things are still unbroken and still, you know, unbroken, but still in pretty good shape? Sandman. Good character. Just thought I'd show that. I also have written down a whole bunch of stuff on my little whiteboard thingy, the little one, so I can try and remember things. Like one of the things that I wanted to talk about was little Charvy. He was so cute this morning. He was running around in his cage over near the wall, and I picked him up because he was a cutie, and I walked into my bedroom because it was like, oh, I want to go in and set him down on stuff and let him play around. So I set him down on my bed, and I stood there, and he was like standing in the middle of it, just lost and looking around, and then he just looked up at me, and he could see me because, you know, they're mostly blind, but they can see shadows and shapes, black and white. But he saw me up there, and he's like, you could see him thinking, I don't know where I am, but I know you. And he started walking toward me, and it was like, oh, you sweet little guy. And so I picked him up, and I brought him back inside, and I put him in his cage. I just wanted him to be able to explore and see new things. And instead he was like, I just want to be over where I know things. And he walked toward me. It was awesome. That was just cool. I just wanted to say that. Now, let's see if I can... Oh yeah, missing housemates. Yesterday, my housemates came back for a little while. It was like 10:30. Here, they showed up, they did stuff, and then I came back in here because I was busy recording and doing things. And then I went down later on and they were gone again. But they didn't give me any instructions or tell me anything, and there was no more real food for the guinea pigs, and I figured, hey, you know, they're probably going to be back later. So I went to bed. And when I woke up this morning, still gone. So I fed the guinea pigs as best I could with what we have, and I gave them water, and I covered them up and a whole bunch of things because I figured they were home, but they weren't, and I figured they'd have food, but they didn't. So I gave them what little lettuce was left and some chunks of cucumber and made sure they had water and got them all fixed up. And so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's not like they're dead in a car accident and my car is broken. So they're probably just still out at his parents' or mother's place. It's not parents. He's kind of a broken family type thing, and I'm not going to say any more details. They're very private people, so that's that on that. But it's just, they've been gone since the day of the 3rd, all day yesterday. Well, the 2nd? They've been gone for a couple days, and I just thought they were back, but they weren't, so, oh well. I took care of the guinea pigs, though, so the guinea pigs are happy. And that's a good thing, because even if they're gone, I mean, you know, the guinea pigs need help and care. They're in their cages. They need hay. They need food. They need, well, they need companionship. Now, I can't really give them that. But I can walk through. I turn on the lights for them. I do things that they don't feel lonely. They're social creatures, even amongst other creatures. I mean, they're social among themselves, but they also need like other time. They need people time. They need floor time. They need time to run out and explore things. They're not a natural species. They're a hybrid species that didn't exist X number of years ago, and they were bred not liking people. So they need people activity too. But so I've gone and I've taken care of them, and it's a good thing. So definitely a thumbs up. The guinea pigs are happy. I'm glad about that. I'd like guinea pigs myself, but there's no room in here for guinea pigs. There's barely enough room for the hamsters up against the wall, and then my stuff in here like this. So I don't have room for guinea pigs. And guinea pigs need a lot of attention. Now hamsters, that's different. They don't need a lot of attention. In fact, they'd be quite happy as hamsters if we didn't bug them. I mean, I'm quite sure Boogle and Mama Squeak and Charvy would be a lot happier if I stopped poking in and bugging them. But then they crawl into my hands, so I can't say that they just want to have no activity, because they like crawling around on me and crawling into my hands and being picked up, so that's good. Oh, excuse me. I had to wash down my medicines with more carbonated beverages today. Well, this isn't on my little list there, but I want to say this real quick. All my life, I've been heavy. When I went into the Air Force, I was 19 years old. I mean, I was young, and it's been decades. I spent more life out of the Air Force than I spent life before I went in the Air Force, and then it was a fairly small chunk of time that I was. But I was 19 years old. And even then, I was having trouble with my weight. I was trying to keep my weight down enough so that I could even go in. The maximum my weight could be and go into the Air Force at my height was 196 pounds. That was a struggle just to get to 196. And then all through my 4 years in the Air Force, I was always at 196 to 200, struggling and fighting. And then got out of the Air Force, my weight has always been between 240 and 280. There have been periods of time during my drinking when it has gotten really bad and I've lost a ton of weight. Went down to 170 pounds during the late 90s from 200 and some odd, and gained that back and had trouble with it, and then was between 240 and 290 during my whole marriage with my wife. And then after she died, I ballooned up to 325 pounds because I was drinking, and it was a calculated risk to kill my feelings so that the feelings wouldn't destroy me, so I could live through this. So I drank for 4 months and then quit at the end of that time. But my weight was 325 pounds because I was starting to retain water and such, but still, that was my weight. And then I got really sick 3 years ago. Extremely sick. Could not eat, couldn't even drink water. I was vomiting everywhere. My weight went from 325 pounds down to 160. I lost over half my body mass from sickness, from being unable to eat or drink. That is bad. When you lose 160, 165, 170 pounds in like 2 months, that's very unhealthy. That can really damage your heart and your other very important muscles. Don't do that. So I even went and asked for help and I got none. So, yay. But eventually I stopped being sick and I could start eating. Now though, I'm fighting to keep my weight up all the time. It used to be I could go and not eat for 3 days and I would still be around 240. Now I fight to eat and it's a struggle just to keep my weight up. I'm at 180 and hopefully not going to keep losing much more than that. I don't think it's cancer We've done a whole bunch of blood tests, and everything's fine, and we're checking out some other issues, and that's fine. It's just for whatever reason, my metabolism changed when I got really, really sick, and now I can't keep any weight on. Thumbs up. But one thing, and this is a big one. It's with this injustice and racism and all this in the world. One big thing. History is so horrific that what we have done in the United States to anybody that's not lily white is absolutely horrific. I did not know until my wife was taking college classes before she died and was studying in the hospital, even like a year before she died, before she finally gave up on her continued education. But she was taking classes and learning things, and one of the things was we found out just how much this country has run on legalized slavery, even up until, well, even now it's basically still legalized slavery, because they're using prisons and for-profit prisons to take the prisoners and go out and do things like pick cotton. So you have the wonderful, wonderful images right now in 2018 of all these black people wearing prison things, picking cotton, while the white prison guards ride on their horses with their shotguns. Yeah, we've left the 1800s and 1700s behind, haven't we? When your existence is criminalized, you are going to end up with a reputation for criminality. Even now, people still, they just go, oh, black people, they can't stop doing crimes. Take a look at their history, all the criminality. When your existence is criminalized, what do? Way back when they needed to get black people in prison so that they could get slaves to work things, poor people had to walk. Where's a good place to walk? Well, roads and railroads, because railroads go from city to city. Well, if you criminalize walking on a railroad, guess what happens? Who walks on railroads? Poor people. Who's predominantly poor? Black people back then, who got caught for walking on railroad tracks and then never saw a free day again? When your existence is criminalized, of course everything is going to add to that. When you walk on railroad tracks and you get taken to prison, you're going to get a reputation, and it's not your fault for being criminalized. Now, it wasn't just whites, it wasn't just poor black people back then. Because horrific racism has always been a part of our country. And in fact, back in the 30s and all that, they used to have wonderful signs up on stores that would say, no Irish need apply. So if your name was like Patrick O'Shaughnessy and you were out walking on the railroad tracks, probably you'd get taken off to jail. But if your name was Smith or Bob, you'd get a warning. But if your skin was a little darker, you'd never see another free day again. And you'd eventually just get a marked or unmarked prison gravestone. Thumbs up. All the way up. World War II. If we hadn't had legalized slavery, if we hadn't built the war effort on the backs of the black people we had criminalized and sent to prison and used as legalized slavery, would we have had a winning army? There's a big thing, and you know, that big Rosie the Riveteer and all the women going out and doing stuff. Yes, they did a good part. The bulk of the war effort was built on the backs of legalized slavery. And I didn't know about this until a couple years ago. So I am thoroughly, thoroughly thrilled about the wonderful joys of my country. Oh yes, and we all know that I hate injustice. I've talked about this. I hate injustice. If you're a Trump supporter and you've got reasons to say, oh, I support Trump for reasons that aren't racist, the problem is he is racist and sexist and ableist and richist. If you're not rich and white, he does not like you. And I don't like injustice. And everything he does is based on that. petty racism, sexism, and worse. You may have non-racist reasons for supporting Trump, but by supporting Trump, you're supporting separating people from children from their parents. You're supporting killing all of the wild animals as they hibernate. You're supporting drilling offshore. You're supporting selling off all of the national parks so that they can drill for oil. You're supporting all these horrific nightmare things. You cannot say, I support him for the non-racist reasons, and then have that get away with all the other horrific nightmare things he does. Injustice is wrong. His entire existence is built on being unjust to others. Now, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people. I'm talking, Well, I am talking. I'm talking, aren't I? I'm counting in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand. I get lost with my fibro and more. I try not to get lost, but I do. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're not good at pronouncing names. I do better than most, but I'm not wonderful. And, let's see. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them all afterward, and I've read them beforehand. I thumbs up each one I read. I answer as many as I can. I do appreciate every single comment, and I like commenting back and talking, and it's awesome. Thank you all so very, very much. So, starting with my Chrome, we have, here we are, Doug Strider, thank you very, very much, and Brandon2940, thank you. Johnny Johnson, greatly appreciated, and Josh Lane, thank you very, very much. Kendall Jones, thumbs up and thank you. Yeah, Y-E-H-H. And Kaylin Kibler, thank you very, very much. Geck Claxton, thank you very much. Pierce the Marisa, thank you very, very much. VFX Ninja, greatly appreciated. Aiden Young, thank you very, very much. Limited Edition, thank you. Kane Nielsen, thank you very, very much. Annie Park, greatly appreciated. Tej Hanley, thank you. And Tundra Keeper, good to see you in the comments, always, thank you very much. Mom Michelle, always good to see you too. I really enjoy seeing your name in the comments, thank you. Wamba Lord, thank you very, very much. Tall Dude 123, thank you very, very much. And Pigeon Man 49, thank you very much, greatly appreciate it. Mega Mach 5, good to see you in the comments as well. Airsoft Community 321, oh, that's very cool. I've watched a lot of airsoft videos. I wish I had like an air gun. Fortnite Beast, thank you very, very much. Troller 34, yes, I talk a lot. You just noticed that. And last but not least, Joshua Murasan. Thank you all so very, very much. You get me out of my head into the world, dealing with real people. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. And it is. I've got bipolar disorder. I'm depressed. My wife died. My mother died. My father is in an adult family home. My sister has got so many horrible things going wrong with her. I mean, it's just, but then on the other hand, life is life. I mean, it's just life. Life is life. And if you can check out my various links, I got Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+. If you could check out my gaming channel, that would be really cool. I'd love to get that monetized. So if you like gaming videos, I got a whole channel of them. Thumbs up on that. And if you could, I've lost where I am. Donate to my GoFundMe campaign, there we are, or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people. That would be beautiful and awesome. Thank you very much. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes, I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you can toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you can subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. I would understand if you don't want to, but if you are down with it, I will do my best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. Oh my God, my hands have gone mad. There is no help or control. I will have to be taken away to an asylum now, for my hands are in control. Luckily, I'm lying. What else is there? Oh yes, I do have an Amazon wish list if you wanted to support me in some fashion that doesn't involve actually just sending me money. I got all sorts of things from hamster food and light and fluffy stuff like that, board games, all the way up to heavy duty and expensive stuff. If you're idly rich and want to spend money just as a present, I've even got a PSVR kit on there. Don't feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, but it would be cool if you could look. And of course I am partnered with Humble Bundle. This is only going to be like a 10-second thing. I'm a paid partner. They're really cool. Check them out. They're wonderful. Thank you very, very much. I'm a terrible salesman. Have you ever noticed? Anyway, you take care today. Have a great day. I will see you on the flip side. I'm shooting for a game video, a reaction video, and a game video from a game channel. Hopefully, if I don't fall asleep, I'll be streaming. But if not, you take care. Have a great day today. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to that 20-minute mark, but I'm not there yet.